it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with Nemesis.
I mean, it can probably beat Athena if you're playing like a Zeus Pan team, maybe.
Zeus
Pan,
nice. Yeah, that was we did that recently, if I'm not mistaken, and that was instantaneously bad.
Yeah,
that's
really bad. Yeah, I'm happy to add Zeus if you want.
Zeus Pan,
and we can add Pan, but not have it linked up.
Or the Pan Pegasus alliance.
Yeah.
That's like a 2-turn, 3-turn win.
How about that?
Well, I don't know what the team ups are yet. But
okay.
So that's definitely making me like Asteria, maybe.
Oh. Yeah, actually Asteria is pretty good in 4-player.
Okay, so how about
yeah, actually Asteria seems really strong here. I don't know what you paired with to make it force Alpies for though. Maybe it doesn't need to be. Maybe Minotaur.
It could be really Nemesis. Interesting if a Asteria Nemesis could trap themselves somehow. And I mean, I'm just like totally hypothesizing, but it seems like that could be potentially deadly if they can get away.
That actually does sound interesting.
Right. So I would say that Asteria Nemesis would be stronger than Minotaur Zeus.
Yeah, I think that's an adequate thing.
What about?
I'm not sure which pairing would make. Yeah,
Asteria Minotaur,
Asteria and Zeus, because Zeus can charge Asteria's power, and that's just another hypothetical.
But,
you're
right. It does sound quite strong.
But do you think that could stand up against Minotaur and Nemesis together?
I think it would stand up well against Minotaur. I'd be a little bit more suspect if it could handle the Nemesis turns well.
Okay, so we're trying Asteria Zeus. Boy, that seems strong.
That's strong.
Yeah, I think that's
and Minotaur, it's going to shut down Minotaur, right? Yeah. Asteria will shut down Minotaur very quickly.
Well, and Zeus
I think having Asteria and Minotaur
get a quick level
might be the way to go here. I still think it's going to be like better to take Asteria than the other team, though. What Zeus is pretty good in 4-player too, so maybe it's not too bad.
What about Asteria Minotaur against
Nemesis? I think that's sensible.
Gone. Asteria Minotaur versus Nemesis Zeus.
All right.
Here we go. And we're going to start with Zeus.
So Asteria and Minotaur. I guess it doesn't matter which of Asteria or Minotaur I take, but I think it's more interesting being the person who gets to play stones, so. You know?
Okay, so let me think about this. I have to be...
increases the number of decisions I get to make in the game.
That's honestly what I would pick too, Nate. I'll be honest. Either Zeus or Minotaur, right?
No, I think it's Zeus or Nemesis.
Sorry, Zeus Nemesis. Sorry. This is why I'm asking. Okay. I like Minotaur. I think it's fun to play, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
It is kind of interesting.
I really enjoy Nemesis.
Our powers, me and Nate's power, kind of have a push-pull dynamic. Like he's doing things that I don't necessarily want to happen to the board with domes.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, domes are a problem for Minotaur.
That's right.
I'll see if I can pollute excessively like I do in Living Forest, you know?
Yeah, don't play environmental games with a polluter or a wildfire enthusiast. Yeah, if I want to learn to play a game well, I'll just ask Nate to play it with me and figure out all the things I'm doing wrong and get real good at it. And, yeah. Okay, now let me think about this.
I have missed this so much that I'm celebrating with a beer Like that's how much I'm enjoying.
I saw that come out.
experimentation.
I knew it was
Wow.
go time. This is
That
quite,
is
I don't
pleasant,
know.
but it also increases our odds.
Well, that's what I tell Rachel is I'm going off to man man gaming night. See ya. Huh.
Well, they seem to be doing well at playing around the Nemesis thing at least.
Yeah, I mean we've no matter really what we do, we've got
Yeah, Nemesis is kind of somewhat hindered there, being on the perimeter.
you know, yeah, if they swap with us, I think I might be okay with that because
Well, they can't swap.
We're nowhere close to swapping.
Yeah.
yeah,
don't worry. No danger
Like
of
their
that.
C1
I was
worker
thinking the
needs
other guy
2
can kind of
moves, their
escape over there.
D3 worker needs to move. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, we got that guy pinned against the I get on C1.
Okay, well,
Man, now I'm gonna have to start deciding if I want to pollute or not.
Just
Yeah.
destroy the board. Yeah, we have the real jerk powers here, actually. Smash the opponents around, and although Nemesis is kind of like the ultimate of that. So
Nemesis can,
maybe if y'all get
yeah.
like one single turn where you just let that power fly, we will regret it forever.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So is this going on YouTube at all, Gord? Is it okay to sort
oh
of
yeah,
talk
now
about
we can go
Pantheon
do
or
whatever we want. It was just whenever the Kickstarter was pending that Gavin wanted to just control
the content? I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that stuff come down, and I figured lips were sealed sort of situation. But
Yeah.
well, I was just simply going to ask what of all of you gentlemen do you find to be sort of your most favorite upcoming power, I guess, of
Wow.
Pantheon? What are you most excited about? Since we were talking about powers that sort of ruin the game for everybody else.
Yeah, Sisyphus is really interesting. It's not one of my powers. I just think it's really a smart one.
I'm fascinated by that. It's
Yeah,
almost a whole game in and of itself.
Yeah.
Between the pushing of the boulder and everything, it's like a
Yeah.
miniature game within Santorini.
Yeah.
That one does sound pretty cool.
So for those of you watching, not knowing what Sisyphus does, there is a boulder that is added to a space on the board, and on your turn, if you are at the end of your turn, if you're neighboring that boulder with at least one of your workers, you have the option of moving the boulder at the end of your turn. And your opponents also have that option, and they have to neighbor it with both of their workers. And you win if the boulder ever gets to the third level. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That is a really cool idea.
It's a cool idea. Yeah.
Do you recall the origin of that one? Who did it, or kind of where?
Yeah, I don't think that was one of mine, but I don't remember where it came from.
Sounds like the Santorini History Compendium Encyclopedia may need to get published with your banana peel photo. Remember? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's terrible. I can't do that.
It's good to see you have such a inner struggle when you're playing, Alex.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
just tortured. The worst is when I do all that and then it's a terrible move anyway. You know, like
You mean like
wow.
right now?
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
pretty
dun.
much.
What's wrong with the first one?
I
First
don't
one
I
you
don't know.
pushed, right?
What am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the first
No,
one
I
was
didn't. I didn't like the
better.
first one because I was going to end up in the corner that way.
Oh yeah, you were gonna be on the perimeter, but a little awkward with the whole Nemesis.
I mean, I'm in the corner anyway, though, aren't I? Like, at least I'm on level 1.
Yeah,
I
this
guess.
one's a little
Just a
worse.
30.
My question
But
is
I
kind
mean,
of
it
just
doesn't do
where
me much good.
do I add height? I don't know if I want to add height or keep it level because I'm actually inclined to do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that to adding height for sure.
I don't think I want to start getting domes toward the center. That's not gonna. It basically anticipating if I make a level 2, they'll add level 3s and you won't be able to access them as fast as Zeus.
Oh, I don't know what to do here. I think I want to just go like this.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
How about that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh, the drop.
Jeez.
Nate, that was probably it, sir.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
That is
a problem. Yeah,
Man.
we
So
have
I
a
don't feel
problem.
like Nemesis is gonna be happening much this game.
Yeah. I think Nemesis might be out of luck here.
okay.
I don't know. I really can't climb on that.
I'm good for throwing caution to the wind and letting him access some of those.
Yeah, I don't think I can
Actually, you could even build on B3, I guess, right?
Yeah.
yeah, either way, I mean he's gonna probably have to jump on to E3 to avoid me like shoving him or anything either direction on my next turn.
Oh, I don't
The
think he
trouble
can
is,
live if he goes to E3 though.
Asteria is gonna eat us alive if we go up there.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is not good.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, basically the only thing with that turn is leaving D4 would be a mistake.
Yep. Yeah. If he did that, I'd be sad. All of my hard work.
You could do that. D2, I guess, right?
So I was thinking of either C2 or E4 building. Or like that will force the hand.
Yeah.
That's not bad. But no, I want to try to get this guy out of here, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, we can try.
That's not going to help. But putting it on E3 is not going to help. I mean, I think we're in trouble.
It's me to put us in the corner. I feel like I was either that or E1. I was going to the corner either way.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe there was some other way.
Okay. Well, I think
it's hard to play Nemesis. There's a fine balance between how terrible you play your turns, you know, if that makes sense. I mean, I've often described it as you're literally trying to play the worst Santorini of your life.
Yeah,
as
that's
that
right.
power deliberately, and then throwing that position to your opponent at the last minute. But then when you get paired with somebody in 4-player who doesn't necessarily
I think the key is that both of you had to like try to stay as center as possible. Like going to any level 1 on the edge is a mistake.
Yeah. But the trouble is Minotaur is going to force us out there anyway. It's like it's hard.
That is true. I'm kind of interested to see how Minotaur fares in general against Nemesis. I've had some interesting games where like I've shoved the wrong way and then they've jumped away.
Yeah.
Boy, you're doing what I think you're doing.
Well, I'm just trying to keep you set up where you can do anything that you want to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm not Minotaur. Okay. Scratch that. I had a move in mind that was absolutely not it.
I find 4-player so tough. Wow. I feel like I could sit here and stare at it for 10 minutes and still not really get the nuance sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely adds something.
Just the turn order is important, and wow.
Oh, interesting. I'm wondering why you didn't level 3 there.
Oh.
Well, I'm desperately trying to get E4 out. Like any
means
way
necessary.
E4 can get out and participate is good.
Although it seems like the cost of that is we'll have several charges of the Asteria power pretty soon if this keeps going this way, where we've got on these level 2s and we have all these level 1s and ground spaces.
Yeah. I forgot about level 2 to level 1 Asteria.
I mean, almost to the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could almost trap that guy in the corner completely for the rest of its natural life.
I mean, at least we'll be on a level 2 trapped in the corner. I don't
Oh my god.
Or should I hold off? Maybe if I don't go out right now, then we could at least avoid Minotaur shoving us right back in there.
Yeah. It's like I don't even have to like hold the fort here.
Yeah, it's tough, and I can tell you right now, I'm thinking my next move is to threaten and try to get where we can eventually shove you somewhere nasty.
Yeah,
I like that much better. Like that's
it's kind of a stay alive.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is just to jump down, go in the corner, and let me try to
see if you can find a way.
Yeah. Well, I like this.
That's okay. That's not so bad. Yeah,
I like this.
That's not so bad. It could be worse. I feel like our position is slightly improving, but with Asteria both on level 2s like that, like, oh my god. Like,
yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if I want the dome like this early. I don't really need you guys to move there. I think I'm expecting like my turn would come up sooner than it actually does. I think I'd rather build there. Or maybe toward. Oh, you know what? Let's just go with that. Right smack in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks clean.
you could go in the middle, but then you're sort of sacrificing Nemesis's power.
Yeah. I'm also thinking of this.
Yeah.
Totally crazy.
Nemesis is a bit weakened in 4-player because you have to have the right moment, right? It's really me that has to set you up.
Yeah. Okay, well, what do we could do?
I don't know if Nemesis is necessarily weaker in 4-player, but I think it's a very weird tempo-y game because you get one turn where you're extra strong, and that you get one turn where you're normal strength, but you're also able to potentially set up Nemesis there and force your opponent to weird plays.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not having the constant threat of Nemesis is like too crippling.
See, that
Yeah.
was done. And that's okay. I'm just going to step back, but not do something crazy.
Oh, that's a little crazy.
Oh man. Oh, look at this. Whew.
That's
Well,
Okay.
Ruthless. Look at that.
Sorry.
I mean, we're not Nemesis anyway, but like we can't. Wow. Couldn't
Yeah.
use Nemesis even if we
Almost.
were Nemesis.
Yeah.
Impressive. Wow.
Oh, that was
I like placing
Very
domes,
nice.
okay?
Yeah.
Loot.
I don't know. I think
Good.
the level 3 was more important. Okay, well, I'm going to very ceremoniously win.
Yeah.
Full
Good
go
complementary
team.
powers, you know, just Minotaur sets it up and
The
Asteria knocks it down, you know. Wow.
Yeah, it's really tough to deny the levels when Minotaur's on the team.
Yeah.
It's a very weird dynamic between the two because I can't just
Yeah.
go full dome machine gun
Yeah.
if I'm not careful.
Yeah.
but that first initial move where Nate was able to get that dome and sort of force you guys out to the perimeter, there were
Yeah.
some brilliances
Yeah.
there on
Yeah.
behalf of
I
my
saw it coming
teammate.
and I couldn't do anything about it. You know, it's just a good move. Nice setup.
All right, well then, so now that we played it out, that was just one example of that matchup, but who do you think stands the best of that particular matchup? Would you do it again?
Who was the MVP?
I think both partnerships play against each other. Asteria doesn't want to place domes because Minotaur doesn't want domes, and Zeus wants to step up high, which isn't ideal for
Against Minotaur.
Nemesis.
Nemesis, yeah. Sorry, my internet's very slow. There we go.
I think we measured ours at like 2 or 3 megabits per second earlier in the day. It was like chugga 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 chugga. I have a steam boiler in the basement that's just for my internet connection. I got to get down there and stoke it.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh no. Okay, I haven't even loaded as far as you guys.
I wonder.
At least you were able to join the game, though. There you go.
Huh.
I'll
That
get
might
there
actually
one of
manage
these
to be
days.
a not terrible matchup.
I promise. It even gave me a message saying my internet connection is unstable. That's lovely.
Oh no.
Oh, I know what is the most exciting thing, and it actually happened the day of the Kickstarter being a success and within hours of the Kickstarter being a success. And that is a new randomized version of the mode that really didn't work that well the first time the game came out, and that was the Golden Fleece mode. And all that was needed is that on every turn, at the start of the turn, you roll the dice. It tells you the direction that the Golden Fleece will be moving, if possible, and it will jump over domes. It will jump over people. And if you're beside it at the start of your turn, your power is active. It is
That actually sounds fun.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Jumping over people is pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much for like, but like that actually sounds like a fun enough mechanic to deal with that. Like, yeah, I don't mind the randomness of it probably.
It plays so joyously.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the random chance stuff. I know it's not a big favorite of the top level players and stuff, but sometimes you lose even though you should have won, and it's okay.
Hecate is probably the best god I play. I just adore getting into the other people's minds and thinking, what do they know? And okay, Am I going to push my luck this time and do a stupid move just to not be where they expect me to be? Oh, I love it. Maybe I'm not good at it.
I always take notes.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with this and
This seems
pair
intimidating.
Oh
pair
boy.
Aeolus and Hades
Whoa.
again. Wait, I'm sorry.
Aeolus, Hades.
Aeolus and
Alright.
Pegasus against Hades and
Oh.
Hippolyta. Yeah, and that might be pretty sharp, but
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Aeolus blocking one of the 4 directions. Well, at least as long as they're not paired with Hippolyta, so.
and it's only once every 4 turns, so I think that may kind of affect things a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I like Hippolyta here.
As far as Hecate's concerned, playing that with you, Gord, actually through some of those YouTube videos early on, I was not necessarily I didn't fully understand the fun of that power until we went through some of those, and it's pretty delightful, I have to say. It is quite fun. There's some good matchups.
So that means Hades, right?
Yes, right?
Yes.
Aeolus Pegasus.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta remember this is a Hippolyta game. Okay. So I'm about to place the worker that can move. And then after that, I'm placing out the worker. Well, usually I'd put him in this position. I don't see a good reason not to.
Right.
Like,
it didn't prompt you to place the female worker. It was.
No, it actually told me female.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I guess I can't see. Oh, yeah, that makes sense because I can't see on my screen. Yeah, I see.
And just remind me of the rules for my own game here. Can you move as Hades? Can you move the queen horizontally?
Yes.
Yes.
It's your Hippolyta is an anytime power.
Got it.
So it doesn't say anything like.
Yep. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. Just testing.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that was how it worked, but when you said that, I was like, "Oh wait,
that's
double check that."
Sounds like a job for the editing out team.
Yeah.
I do really like.
Yeah, at first I was feeling Aeolus, but I think you might actually be right about Hippolyta being the right choice here.
I don't know. I mean, you guys can correct.
It's a very interesting matchup, though.
But these like single use powers, your Aeolus, Siren, Charybdis, a lot of those things that don't work all the time in 4-player, versus like an Eros, a Hera, something like that, a Limus. They have always seemed to me to be slightly weaker than they would be in a 1 versus 1 type situation where they're like Charybdis can overbuild and replace the pool every turn versus having to wait a couple of turns to do that. It really affects the power. And then Aeolus, you've got to plan 4 turns ahead.
Yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah, Charybdis I think is pretty bad in 4-player. But I will say Aeolus, while weaker, like I mean, he still gets the ability to make his move and place the win token in a way that like absolutely bodies the opponent. It's just closer to a hero power now, is the thing. I think if you time it well, it's still pretty decent.
Aeolus is more powerful playing against Hippolyta, if you like, because Hippolyta already restricts movements.
No, that's terrible. I can't do that. Okay. There's got to be something I can do.
I was wondering about that.
But Aeolus also restricts you a lot. So you can lay Aeolus.
Well, it doesn't restrict him if he like denies the our special worker direction.
Yeah. Then it doesn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah. But yeah, when he's choosing like an actual direction, it actually messes with both his workers pretty badly.
Yeah.
I like that. That's probably what I would have picked.
What do you think? I could do that. The trouble with that is I'm blocking our own worker.
Yeah, because the next that worker is going to have to access B3, A4 to
Yeah,
have any reason getting up there.
exactly, right? Oh, yeah. But then again, if I do this, then yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. If we stay vertical, maybe we'll be able to jump up there at some point. But then again, do we want to? I don't know.
We'll have, I think getting some type of platform together before we make that choice.
Yeah.
You know, if we do a Pegasus jump, that'll probably be,
Yep.
you know, the thing that we'll do for a while. We'll probably be stuck on whatever level we end up on.
Yeah, I think this move just looks clean. Maybe it can be better though. What if I do it kind of concave like that?
Sounds like the cops are coming for somebody. Is that a siren in one of you guys?
Yeah, that's me.
I mean, this move that I
Alex,
just
what
made
did you
looks kind of
do?
illegal. I'm
That's
not
me.
sure if I'm allowed to play it.
We hear sirens here constantly. Sirens all the time. I'm right in the heart of the city, right? So I'm right here. There's like an ambulance station over there, a fire station over there.
I'm gonna try this. Let's see if it's good. Oh, right, they have a Pegasus. Oh, okay, then I should maybe think a little harder there.
That's the issue.
Stop that illegal Santorini playing at night.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. I think it's mostly ambulances.
How do you like this?
Seems sensible.
We're not. Yeah, that's good. I just want to make. I think we're okay.
I was also partial to actually building on C4 again there.
I was suspecting that was going to happen.
That's interesting.
I could prevent them from climbing here.
What do you mean?
Well, I could prevent the female worker.
Yeah. That's not terrible.
I mean, we can't really
I like
get up
that.
there yet. I don't know. I guess we could.
Well, see, if they use the male, they can't build on C4.
Yep.
Which I also like, because obviously the next step is I get up there and we have a platform of level 2.
We got a platform. Like it's a pretty decent platform. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So they'd have to. They have to
but
get
it
in
pretty
there
much guarantees they will probably build C4.
They'll probably build C4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means our platform is worthless.
Yeah, and they're gonna probably get at
We
some
will
point
deplatform you.
Yeah. But the trouble is, what other option do I have? It's with Hippolyta, you have so few moves all of a sudden that you can even do. Could like go off here and do this, I guess.
Huh. Well, okay. So Alex, let's say they do overbuild C4. Pegasus couldn't jump up there because Hades wouldn't let him off of the level 3. That would be a fatality. Never mind then. So that doesn't work.
If we get up here, we could stick with we get a platform at E1, but like what we really want to do is get up there somehow and be able to stay up there. And at the moment, we can't do it because once there's a level 3 on C4, the board's cut in half for us, you know.
I do like. I mean, we could probably get a level 2 securely on E4 with that last move you were doing. Is that right?
Yeah,
because
I think so.
They would have to move twice to put a level 3 there, and by that time we'd already
Yep, let's do it. And then maybe we could stop them with Aeolus. Oh boy, this is not good. I hate it when my opponent makes a really swift move, like they've just been waiting for me to.
Thanks for the intimidation.
I mean, Nate's claim to fame is, I mean, he'll just say, 20 turns ahead.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, I got this.
Yep.
And I mean, there's
Game over.
what do you do, man? Like,
yeah.
way
That's
to
a win.
give me some
Well, to be fair, in this
here.
case, the move was kind of telegraphed by hearing that the move is
Yeah,
that
we're talking about it, sure. It does help.
I'm not actually sure that my move was the best thing there, but it looked decent. And decent moves win games, except for when they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything's possible if it happens.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
So I could get up to the level 2 and use the wind power to stop him. But by the time I've done that, he'll have they'll be setting up an A4 to win.
Yeah, I think we've got to get the worker sort of, well, that worker, the male worker, would have to make it to A3 to have any chance of touching a level 3 on A4. And that is kind of the problem. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 moves from now. And they can basically build and win in 2 moves.
Yeah. So I kind of have to dome. We got to save Aeolus's power for another day, I think.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to use that to either single or double block in some type of way.
Yep.
I mean, this has all made C3 a ridiculously powerful square for any side that gains it.
Yeah.
It just splits the entire map there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that this is 100% win for Hippolyta Hades every single time you play.
Really?
I know this is pure strategy. So that is a fact that it's either 100% win or it's 100% loss, I guess, depending on who starts. But this just looks totally dominant, doesn't it?
Well, Aeolus.
I'm not really
Aeolus
convinced, actually.
Aeolus is dangerous. Aeolus can take a win and turn it right around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually quite worried that we might get our B5 worker entirely trapped here. Just by the virtue of, like, a win token would do that.
Sure.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, the question is, where do you decide to win and with what worker? And unfortunately, it seems like your team has decided the male worker is the one you're going to use as the climber, and oftentimes as Hippolyta, that's you want to use the female, so you strictly have more options. But
yeah, I wanted the female to have on defense, but that might have been questionable. But I'm not even to the point where I'm sure that this position is good for us. Like, I'm still figuring that out.
admittedly, if I was you guys, I would probably go for the sort of more cautious approach. And I think you were about to do it.
C3.
Yeah,
if I
take C3
and
do a level 1 on B4 would personally be
I was
probably the first thing
considering
in my mind.
It looks very terrifying, you doing E4, like building on D5 and then taking it, maybe with my work that there's actually pretty soft.
What about?
Well, I don't think it will be, actually.
What about moving to C3 and then building on B3?
That's plausible. I think B4 would be better than B3 though. I'm leaning towards like I'm actually leaning towards this now. No, I don't think that works at all. Well, wait. So if I do this, and they just try to tempo us out. We have that. They have that. And then they wouldn't get to use the Aeolus at a time where they'd get to like have good options with it, I think. They wouldn't know exactly what's happening yet.
You are making that move.
I don't think it works. Yeah, no,
with the plan to use the female again as a body blocker on B4 when she moves back to that square to again.
No. The male worker would be going to A4 in theory. It would be like a full transfer.
Got it.
But
I like that as well.
Yeah.
That's also defensive in a nice way.
I think it might be losing by force. No, probably not. Yeah, no, this move's fine.
I'm thinking that, and we trap the female worker if she level 3s it, Alex.
Okay, I like it.
But we're really going to have to be watchful of the A4 B5 thing.
Yeah.
I won't have the win, so let's see 1, 2 turns.
Yeah.
We could theoretically get there with the male worker.
Oh, we'd be okay because the wind would be going northeast.
Yeah.
So that would work.
But if you're trapping the female, you can't move the male, right?
Yeah. Well, we'd have to move our male worker to E3 if we do the wind to the northeast.
All right.
I think we lose by force if we don't build out to level 3, right?
Yeah, because we can't jump down. Hades.
Oh yeah, actually, we also are crushing with doing that. But I was about to say like we lose by force if we don't do it.
It's not terrible. I mean, I think that keeps us going a little while longer.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that turning into level 3. It'd be hard for you guys to come back and dome it for 1.
I feel like the much better play was to like try to build the level 2 on TE4 or something. Although that would leave your D4
onto E4. Yeah, exactly. So I think we need him to either dome on my. I mean, it basically if I made that commitment and I moved the male to E3, I would be basically throwing the whole game into Alex's decision making with that win token, and assuming that you guys will have one single level 3 threat that we're trying to make.
Yeah, we would.
And I lose any agency on trying to dome it at all.
But, yes, that would be 100% correct. I think it was.
Oh, sorry, it's my move. I'm
yes.
After all of that, I'm wondering. Okay, I'm definitely doming this. Correct?
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
okay.
I think if you don't
Sorry,
agree,
sorry.
we lose.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dreamland.
All right.
Sorry, just go like just hit me
It was
if I
that one
do
beer.
Oh my gosh, one. Okay, what's in this?
The trouble is, if I do this and put the wind on, well, no, that's not good. The female worker's
Well,
not even
yeah,
trapped.
it'll just take what? Yeah, it'll just take it, and they'll probably build like C5 or something. We will be.
Yeah,
In
but
a
I can't
world
move
of
the
hurt.
female worker, our female worker, because there's got nowhere to go
You
because of
can.
Hades. So no, I
Yeah.
can't
Literally, you can't.
because I'm not Pegasus, and I
That's right. I
yes.
gotcha.
So now I'm in
I mean,
trouble.
even
So
if
I
he was
could
Pegasus, moving up to D5 and never down again would be very
that
sad
would
also.
not be a great move.
It's tricky. Yeah, you're
I
right.
could
I
do
didn't think about
this.
that.
At least then we have a move for the female worker next time. The male worker over here, though. Oh, do I want to keep him from getting onto that level 2 right away? I feel like if I do that, then he'll be able to build at B3 with the female worker, and then they'll be up there anyway. And I can't, if I do this, you see, I'm screwing up my future move from D3 to E4 for our female worker.
I see that.
So let's try this.
Yeah, win not so strong in
Yeah.
4-player.
Yeah.
I think we're finding
Yeah.
that out. That was my
Yeah.
suspicion, but
Well, I think it's
Do you remember
like just
that
that
4-player
Hippolyta is
tournament we
like
had?
very strong in
It
4-player.
was. I find it just it works better on turn-based. Like I have to like write it all out. It takes like an hour. You know?
it complexifies it quite a bit. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like the move, right? Like, no real reason not to do this.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I think this is more so a situation of just Hippolyta and Hades both being like passive powers, so they're definitely stronger. But, like, I don't know. I think it's also very easy to mess up because we came pretty close to losing there actually. Yeah, I guess that's force. That sucks. That's force though.
Yeah, I guess it's not so bad. I mean, I assume that you guys would.
Oh right, you guys have Aeolus next. Okay, yeah, it's probably not. So
And if that
bad.
gets a level 2, well, it's pretty hurtful. If that you know what, I think I might actually like the build not there. Because I don't want to be stuck on a isolated level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's going to be a win turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on what we do.
Depends. Yep.
Probably should be the win turn.
So I'm thinking of this.
Huh.
Do you like it?
I don't know if I'm a huge fan, but it might work.
What were you thinking?
I was leaning towards building on B3.
I would say for them, it's pretty obvious to move there, isn't it? To A3. No, it's not.
Wouldn't they have to put the wind down to stop
They
us
would have to
winning
put
if they
the wind
move to A3? So if they move to A3 and put the wind down so that we can't move up, right? Is that the idea, or put the wind down so that we can't move?
So if we put it here, what are they going to do next turn?
Well, you were saying B4 A3, and I'm assuming that the idea is to put a level 1 on B4 and like make the wind top, right? Like forcing our worker to not move back, I guess. But I don't think that's problematic for us.
So if we do that, what's their move?
I think it should be probably B4 to D3, do something with it and put wind in a way that's adversarial to us ever kind of winning in that area. So I guess the better of the two would probably be the one that prevents us from moving down left. Or, yeah. Or, okay, yeah, this might be fine because then we can try building there, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I suppose
right.
you were worried about moves to A3, builds on B4, and then
What are
place
we
the wind so that we can't
thinking
occupy that.
here?
I think you're reading
If I
my
do this,
mind. I think you're reading my mind. Keep it coming.
I think
Keep
it
it
might
coming.
be.
Yeah, yeah, baby.
The thing is,
that
because
actually
that
might be
means his
winning.
female worker can't work.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like that. I like that very much.
And if they do try to win with their male, I
Then we can move
defeat
to the
that threat.
corner. Yes. And then the male is trapped.
There's just
Yeah, I think it needed to be on the other. Well,
I
guess it
think
wouldn't change
that's a
anything then.
game. I think that's a game-winning move.
Oh my
quite frankly.
God.
That might be it.
So
That is.
I did say that, like, I was not
Yeah.
super convinced for a while.
okay, you were right.
It's the C3,
I
the
guess,
C3 worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even
Yeah.
have to try. I guess. Yeah, well,
I
you
think
kind
I
of do.
played
You're
this too
trapped
close
either
to
way.
the edges,
But
though. So this was definitely like on that probably.
Yeah, I told you, man, that middle square was going to be
I was so sure.
potent. That single dome on C4 drove almost this whole game, and
yeah,
that dome on
got it.
C4 is
Whoa.
definitely messed us up.
I have
badly.
one legal move here.
Wow, that's sad. Sorry, sorry, Nate.
That is
No,
tricky.
the other move didn't save the game either, I think.
The other move wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, you just run out of moves so quickly.
Man, I'm just well, getting all the honorary. Well, Alex would actually get to sink the win, but
we were on the same page. It was
there you go, sir.
good.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
Once they got their workers far away from ours, we were probably actually just lost there.
And I'll be honest. If I wasn't Pegasus, I couldn't have blocked you guys. Well, I could. I guess I could have gone to A5, but that would have been
You could have been
unpleasant.
A5. It would have made no difference at all.
Yeah. Pegasus.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that. Okay.
Okay.
Good game. Great game, guys.
I am shocked.
Yeah.
So
Aeolus is so strong.
The unsinkable Hippolyta Hades combo appears to have gone down.
Yeah.
I stand by it. I think that was just misplayed, terrible misplay. But
I'm not entirely sure.
Not sure.
So the issue is that Aeolus wind is incredibly strong against Hippolyta. Yeah. It's like entirely carrying that. And Pegasus being able to get around some of the things you might try is also relevant.
It is strong.
But we definitely misplayed early getting the level 2 on C4 like that they could just abuse.
I'd love to see
I think that was on me actually.
Where you actually climbed with the female worker. So I think that the fatal instance was that you used the male as your winning piece.
No, if I'd climbed with the female worker, I would have had no way to defend your threat, and you would have won sooner because of Aeolus. I get that my female worker is the only one that could actually make threats, but if I had done that, then there wouldn't have been a defense to you guys just building on the other side of us.
Guys,
I needed
I
to be like
apologize, but I'm gonna have
central
to
threats with my guy.
check out.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go to bed. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Understood. That's no worry.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good
This is great
catching
though.
up with
Thank
you.
you so much. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
Then let me know what you would like to see, and I will pick the powers and allocate them thusly.
Huh? Oh, I mean, I'm content with being the solo team, man. I don't have any good power ideas at the moment. I'll
Oh,
think
okay.
about
I
it a bit,
figured
though.
I'd give you a preference.
My preference is usually to not be picking the powers.
I like it. I like picking it so much. I mean, it's kind of your
I
chance to
mean,
experiment.
I won't stop you, man.
Yeah, I want to do a Harpies game, so I'm
Okay.
just gonna go with that and try to pick something that's not terrible into Harpies.
Yeah. The things in my head that aren't terrible into Harpies are the ones that counter Harpies silently, so I'll see what you pick and see how I feel about it. Because I know that's not quite right.
This has
Harpies
always
is an
been.
echelons, I believe.
I'll go with the old Apollo. This is one of the ones that supposedly is actually fairly balanced for Apollo.
Sorry, this is the
That's
old
not terribly
Apollo.
surprising, actually.
This is
Huh.
the old Apollo.
This is old
Yeah.
Apollo as it stands.
Oh,
I mean, we could just play with new Apollo, but
I would
supposedly
recommend it here.
you would or would
Yeah.
not.
Well, there's a non-zero chance I'm picking Harpies here, so it would be shooting you guys in the foot if you decide to play with old Apollo. Huh. Yeah, so what would Apollo try to do, and how would Harpies fare against that? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Harpies would have a pretty easy time with that. Yeah, I need to see it to believe it. I consider Apollo in general stronger than Harpies, but like this matchup is wonky enough that I'm needing more proof.
All right. So my thought is we pair the workers and we start trying to corner up somewhere. Mr. Gord.
that's good.
And I guess we have a 50-50 pick of which corner, so
Sounds good.
how about that one?
Yep.
And part of me also wants to see this played out. I think I've played it a few times and seen it won by both parties.
Do I feel like doing that or not today?
The smaller the board gets, the more it benefits us.
Yeah.
If Nate puts a level 2 on that, I'm good with that.
So my inclination is we go and we take B3 and build A4. That would be sort of my gut instinct. And that's from their perspective, that's undefendable because they can't move there to add a level 2 onto either of our structures.
Let's do it.
And we're a turn ahead essentially if you go straight toward a level 3 win. We have an extra block that Nate doesn't have. So I think that might work.
Hmm.
All right, what's your thought now,
Uh,
Mr. Gord?
I hate the idea of D2 being built on. That's so.
Oh no, D2 is fine. Don't worry about D2.
How
Who
about
cares about such things as D2?
how about moving into D1 and building on E1?
So, like, so,
Yeah. Do you like it?
sure. I don't know that we want to get into the corner anytime soon, though.
Well, I also don't want to go in the corner, and I want to make sure that we don't end up sliding in there. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I want to build that up so that we never have to go in the corner. If he builds,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And plus, depending on how they decide to climb, we might be able to take their structure. Yeah, let's see how that. I'm kind of curious enough to see how that plays out. If it was any power but Apollo, I wouldn't want to add blocks to them. But yeah, I mean, I think defending that is logical,
How
even if it
exactly?
gives them by moving the C4 worker.
To
I mean,
C4.
I think any amount of domes onto the board are probably overall beneficial in a longer game. Even if we give you guys an unfortunate climb onto B5, it still seems like a decent idea.
I agree.
All right, I'll go ahead. Again, I'm just this whole matchup I'm very curious about, and Apollo is definitely, at least the old version, is one of my most underplayed powers.
One of my least favorite for sure. Blocking is such a central part of the game. But this, I've never played this, and this is really interesting. That's way more irritating.
Isn't it?
Look, I gave you guys a level 1 to just step
Yeah,
up to.
yeah, oh, I know. Yeah, the bait and switch.
I'm sure you won't go to A5 afterwards or anything. That's not how this game works. You just move one square. You don't move like until the end.
How about D2, building in D2?
You mean to
sorry.
move which worker
B1, I think, is what he
Sorry,
means. Because he can't build on B2 otherwise.
to?
So
I'm sorry, to go to E1.
sorry.
Oh,
build
no, no,
E2?
no. I
Sorry,
think he
no,
means
I
like
mean
through D2.
move C3.
Move C3
Yeah, but
through him
I don't actually want to build. I forget that I said about building on. I meant build on E2.
on E2.
that.
Ah, that makes way more sense.
Okay. Yeah. So we still have kind of an aggregated amount of blocks.
Oh, gosh, it's still terrible.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
it's a
okay,
little
well,
spooky.
It's terrible.
let's think what he does. So he'll
Yeah, I
go
don't like it.
and he'll
He
almost
moves to
certainly
D2.
build on B5.
I was actually
I mean,
considering B3 in this specific line. It's a little tough to defend C2. Probably B5, though. Probably B5.
Okay, well then we have a pretty decent response to that, I think. It still gets us ahead. You okay with trying this, Gord?
Yep,
All
because
right.
I'm lost right now. I'm.
It might be A4 instead of B5.
I think we could still, if he tries to take D2 by occupation, we'll just swap with him.
I expressed no interest in B2. And that continues.
I'm kind of inclined to do that. The longer he keeps that worker on C3,
Yeah, that forces the next move.
the more powerful that we sort of get.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
I had a move that I thought was winning by force, but it isn't quite. Well, it might be. That seems incredibly tough to deal with.
No, that's impossible to deal with. You're right.
Yeah, possible.
Because
we can't cover both.
Yeah, the threat could come from either direction.
We can cover one.
Yeah.
I think you can cover both, but you really hate the way that you can.
So we can step down.
Yeah.
We can step down on C3.
Yeah.
But
doesn't look pretty.
It doesn't look pretty. But that's a win for sure, right? Because that's
well, what if we just go and sacrifice that guy? They can't build another threat anytime soon. I mean,
how do we cover? How do we cover the win on A4?
Yeah, that's.
We can't. Well, if I'm C3, you can cover both.
Man, we're gonna have to go into
C3. I think we have to go to C3, right?
As far as I can tell.
I guess putting it there is not. I don't know. I don't know of a better place to build other than try to just glue more blocks to what we already have.
Fine. Yeah.
All right.
I think D2 might have been a little bit sounder.
To build on D2?
Yes.
Why is that? Because
I have to analyze it. It's these two turn. So the line that I had in mind was if you build on D2, if I try to make a threat on A4, when you swap through me to be able to handle it, I guess you can go B4, but I don't think you really want to. So when you swap through me to handle the threat that I could make on A4, then I won't be able to move to D2.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, were you saying build on D4?
Yeah, I thought D4.
Yeah, I think D4. D4 is good.
I meant to say you should build on D2, not D4. I think you had to make that a level 2 so that I couldn't move up. Because then if I try to follow it up with like building on E2, I think, well, it's weird. That like whole tunnel thing probably actually is really bad for you because it seems hard for you to get to. But if you have a work on A3, you can slip it in and get to D1, so maybe it's fine. It's weird. It's definitely a bit odd.
I kind of like it. Well, I kind of thought if we get to survive, putting.
I guess I can probably still do this, and it looks good though. Give me a second, but right, it seems very tough to defend. Really.
Tough.
Defend all three there.
Very tough.
Yeah, who made this game?
What the heck? Yeah,
that seems fine. Plus, if I do this, I think I still afterwards get my ability to like move my worker into the other general vicinity.
Okay, I think we have to go to A1. Do you agree? There's no way to cover the far corner.
Well, what if
we way to cover everything? Unless we move.
What about doing something like that?
We lose on A1. We lose on A4.
Yeah, he's right. I move to B4, build A4, and then when you swap through me, I go to C4. I haven't analyzed it enough to be sure if you guys do have a defense here.
Well, listen.
C4. Are we looking at the same board?
A4. We need to move to A4. A4. Sorry. A4 is the win. We need to move to A1 to stop the win on A4.
With this guy on the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, and does that
that's
work
brutal.
overall?
That's ugly.
I think I
I
could
didn't say it was
probably-
pretty. I said it was
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
Oh, I think this also loses. Because I get to move to B4, build B5, and then I get to move to A3, build A4. Yeah, this position might be undefensible.
Yeah. You've won. Because you threaten.
Maybe you could try moving to D5, but it still looks not great.
No, you threaten on A4 and then you threaten and win on B5.
All right, wait. Oh yeah, I do it this way, right?
Oh, I see. Oh yeah, you can do it either way. Either way one works. You got.
Well, I can't do this, right? Because then you just
can.
do A1 to A3.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about the Apollo. Okay, yeah. So you have to do it that way.
Yeah. I suppose I could also make the threat on B4 without ruining the integrity of the win.
Well,
that
was
looks
decidedly horrible.
Apollo has been conquered.
Wow, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Rats.
I mean, Todi has played a ton against Harpies. He's on some other level with like anti-Harpie strats. I picked up some of them, but like, it's very tough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for him writing all that stuff about Harpies, I don't know if half of the community would really know how to combat a lot of the stuff that it's doing.
Yeah.
I think my very first Santorini game that I ever played on BGA, it was against a pretty strong player, and I was a 0, of course, just starting out. And I lucked out that I had the Harpies power and
nice.
just was almost making virtually random moves, just trying to climb, and I was able to win, but I think it was just the power was confusing.
Yeah, it's really weird. It seems kind of impossible to win in the center against Harpies. But if you can stop the Harpies from winning in the center, then you can sometimes get some like domes set up and then maybe bounce off of them. But I think it might actually be the case that perimeter domes are more useful than center domes, which is the opposite of what I thought for a long time. But I'm really unsure. It feels like once you have to dodge one threat by Harpies, it suddenly seems like you're just losing.
No, yeah, there's a point at which they've kind of gotten sort of a platform of level 1s together or level 2s. They can just make threat after threat after threat and kind of bounce you in a crisscross shape across the board till eventually you get something unblockable that you can't deal with. I think in general, the longer that the game goes on, the weaker Harpies goes, and that's kind of like the same for like Triton and a lot of movement powers as well. The more domes that kind of throw up.
Yeah, that's true.
Limus becomes stronger with more domes. There are certain powers where they want that long war, so to speak.
Yeah, Limus is definitely a power of attrition, unless we just manage to absolutely body the opponent because it's just so strong.
Yeah, what's the history of Limus, Gord? I'm just curious. Do you have that off the top of your head? I'm going to continue to throw random questions of curiosity at you.
Oh gosh,
what's the origin of Limus? I think these are the things that people would be real interested to watch these videos for too.
Sure. I'm pretty sure Limus was one of mine, and I think that's a really old power. Yeah, and it's one of my favorites. I just really enjoy the control that it brings.
Yeah. It's so terrifying.
Yeah.
Instant victory is always nice.
Well, one of the new ones is Stymphalian birds, and you have 3 workers, and those workers, whenever you move them, they must move 2 or 3 spaces, and they must end up on a space that is not where they started and not within 1 space of where they started.
Oh, Oh, that's
I
interesting.
saw that one and how the language kind of had evolved from what it started out as. It was, if I recall, it was a dice power originally. Um, and I think that sounds pretty cool because I love the three
Yeah,
worker powers so far. Um,
man.
I think that'll be pretty exciting. It's very different than almost all the other powers work. Even your Artemis, she can still move one square away, so you really got to do some planning. Um,
Yeah, you can't like even win if you have an adjacent
yeah,
level 3, right? Like you need to
Yeah,
have
you
some.
can't win one space away.
I wonder what
Uh,
something like that would do with Harpies. For example, that might be either a very
that might be
difficult
strong. Yeah.
or
Oh,
very easy power to play against Harpies. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it would probably be weak, I guess. I initially thought it would be strong because like being able to double move usually lets you finesse some things. But having to end more than one space away from yourself sounds like suicide against Harpies.
I don't know. It sounds like
Actually, I guess
Harpies.
that's kind of what Harpies are aiming to do.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be good against Harpies. Like you can move 3 times. Like that. That's a lot of
Kind of
movement.
nuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Oh, yeah, that was 2 or 3 times? Oh, God.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's a lot of movement.
Huh.
With three workers, I mean that's also significant in the sense that it adds more sort of combinations that you can make on the board. But I can imagine somebody picking up that power for the first time. Um, they're going to have a thinky think on each one of their turns.
Oh goodness. Hey, this
Yeah.
is
Like,
not a
I mean,
family
can you
I
game.
mean,
imagine?
I'm going to have a thinky think the first time I play that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Half of the it'll be such a joy to like relearn a game that we've played bazillions of. Even for, I mean, there's something for everybody in there. There's more murderous powers. There's more powers that shut down what the other people want to do. There's, you want three workers, you want four workers. Here you go. There's a power for you.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I'm a little excited to play some Arachne.
yeah. And there was the one Enodia with the city, like she needs four corners, if I recall correctly. There was, just something where you establish a pattern that you need to make on the
Yeah,
board, and
that's
and
toadies.
yeah,
That's totally juice.
Yeah, that
and
sounds interesting.
Kratos, his power Kratos, it was another one of his.
Yeah.
I'd like to give that one a go. That seems pretty neat, moving a whole stack of buildings around.
Wait, what was the Enoji's power again?
If I recall, Gore, do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, so it's a 3 by 3 square, and you have to look at those corners. And if those corners are populated by either men or domes, you won.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That
And
sounds
she's the
fun.
goddess of cities or something dealing with like urban growth or something, and so it's thematically pretty neat.
I love the powers that are just so different. They just change the entire game. And yours,
Yeah.
your power, Moros, like it just coagulates around the opponents with 8 different things that are moving
Yeah.
under your control.
Sure. Yeah,
Wow.
I do enjoy the kind of just like slowly kind of zeroing in. And I'll be honest, there aren't not every player loves those really long drawn out games, but I do. I think the game is really neat as you get to like a later and later stage of games where domes and things start popping up and obstacles in the way. It makes it very challenging. And I think a sort of boa constriction power makes the whole game drive toward that already and on the first turn. So
I don't
I
know if
like those kinds
Moros,
of games, but only when it's not like against someone who benefits a ton from them, like Gold Apollo. If you get into a late game, like
yeah,
Artemis or
there
something.
was there was one really frustrating one where I mean, there are certain games that you just remember forever, and one of them
Uh,
was a beginner beat me. Not that I think ill of that, but it was very striking. And I was like in the 400s at that time, and I had Hermes, and I was against an Apollo, and we took it down to the very last two spaces of the game. And he was able to, jump into my space, put a level 3 in front of himself as Apollo, and I couldn't move past his worker as a Hermes to deal with that. I was just strangled, no options left to build. So
Yeah.
that was just like, what do I do? Like,
For me, the game that it wasn't like an unfair win or anything. Like, it was like against Barbados, so obviously like I'm expected to lose. But I offered Apollo Aphrodite. It was just like this grindy game, which I eventually lost, but it took like hours, not actual hours. But
there was another good one.
He had to
where
stay next to me, but he always like swapped with me. I was like, I have no clue how to actually make any progress.
Yeah, I think I played that against somebody recently, or we were experimenting with the new Apollo versus Aphrodite, and it was just kind of like a slog.
Yeah.
There was one other memorable one where I was Charybdis against a Hermes, and this was somewhere in Arena, but I took that one down to the very last turn as well. And the Hermes had to jump into my pool, exit out the other side, and then build me a level 3 so that I could win. And that's how that one ended up. And that was another one where I was like, man, that
Like
was
that
just
was our
super.
only move somehow.
Yeah, exactly. The only move, 2 pools on open spaces on the board. They had to jump into one of the pools, exit out the other one, and then build a level 3 on the space that they vacated, which happened to be in front of my other worker. And it was like, I felt pretty proud of that one. I
Wow.
have to say.
That sounds incredible, but I can't quite internalize how that's possible because I think he would just be able to not move.
One of the other gods that I really like is just a very basic god that I should have come up with a long time ago, and it's just Nike, which is the opposite of Athena. And Nike's Athena's daughter, so if she steps down, then no one else can step up. So I really like those thematic ones that are just so obvious that they should have been in the game ages ago.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
There's nothing too incredibly special, and probably weaker than Athena.
Yeah.
But
I mean, interestingly, when I'm playing Athena, a lot of the times I have to step down to like start being Athena again. I'm like deliberately choose to do so.
Well,
So I can see like the move downs giving you that effect being better, but maybe not.
I do like that kind of like self-imposed disadvantage, like the Asteria games that we just played.
Yeah.
The Asteria has to make a sacrifice in order to gain something from it, and only she can determine.
And what a gain it can be.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, just it's instantly win, or basically section off an opponent's piece entirely for the rest of the game, and they can't do anything about it. Or there's a lot, and I do like that kind of. I'm the player. I decide at any point in time to exercise this thing, and the advantage that I make from that is totally my decision as well, and an evaluation of the board state. That is pretty cool. I mean, this if you're going for theme, Sisyphus, in my opinion, is probably one of the most thematically cool play style, different, interesting. I mean that's like a showcase power. That is one of those things that I can't imagine had never been in the game, and once it is in existence, you kind of like, whoa, this is so fascinating. I have always needed this power. It just changes things.
I really enjoyed improving Jason's power. Jason has got the power that he's got 2 workers on the board, and at any point he can add a 3rd worker around any perimeter space. That's how it was. And just with a small change, now you have 2 workers off the board at the start, and you just start with 1 worker. And that was just a super important decision to just make that a way more interesting power.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Way more interesting.
That's kind of neat because there's no single worker power that starts out with just 1 anyway.
That's right. That's right.
And I know during playtesting we did talk about like what if there could be like a super worker power. I just never thought that anything we came up with was feasible in terms of offense and defensive prowess, so to speak. But Yeah, I like Jason, and I can't tell you the amount of games where I just use his power on the first turn anyway and start with 3. And sometimes that works out. So,
Yeah.
now I can use it on the first turn of the game and then on another turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit weak if you use it on the first turn. Three workers is pretty strong, but it's still not strong compared to most other gods.
Yeah.
But power use with tempo, though, right? He gets to move and then he gets to build all in that same turn. And
yeah, oh, I agree. Now it's interesting. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good watching that whole campaign and Pantheon come out and everything. And I think we'll all be better for it. I think we're all biting at the reins to get to try everything in real life. And I am always going to be very curious in what sort of strategies people gravitate toward and powers that people like. I mean, I just like, what's your favorite power? I just want to ask everybody that plays Santorini, because it's so curious to me what people will gravitate toward based on their personality or play style or otherwise. I'll be very curious.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably either Turks or Hydra. Both of them just like, I like the whole scaling thing of Hydra, but it's like extra workers, which can be really useful, but can be a little bit iffy sometimes. Yeah.
Paul Saxberg also created a beautiful power called Pythia, and that's the one where
the Oracle, right?
Yeah, the Oracle.
Oh, yeah, that one's great.
Oh my gosh, it's so interesting. You get to point to one of yours, and then your opponent has to point to one of theirs that they're going to move, and you both have to follow through. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah,
I like the extra like win condition powers too. Like there's Boreas, if I'm not mistaken, where if a worker's north, he wins.
Yeah.
If an opponent worker is north of his worker, he wins. And Cerberus, I can't remember how that one kind of evolved toward the ending language, but basically, if a worker gets surrounded or something to that nature, Cerberus wins.
And that's Cerberus also has to be above, and it's only a killing power, and Cerberus has to be above the ground level with all 3 workers.
Okay.
It's extremely it's extremely hard for Cerberus, but Cerberus starts with 3 workers, which is already nearly balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice thematic, again, going for a theme there. So I like that. And Boreas, such a simple power. I'm really, really happy with Boreas. Just those simple powers that belonged in the game without adding anything extra. They just belonged in the game. Yeah.
What does Boreas do again?
It just kills to the north.
Oh, right. That one.
That's all. Every turn.
Okay, so it's not outright winning. It's just removal of a worker. That's good because I know several people, Matt among them, who can be here, who love the worker removal powers. Your Bia and Medusa of the world, and it again. Each person has their different personality and play style, and there's something in there for those folks, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a take that component that Santorini kind of already has, but that is take that on a whole nother level when you can just totally remove their power or remove their worker from the board. So,
yeah, I'm just going through the list here.
Phobos is another one. I was kind of thinking of that. Actually, earlier today, if I recall, he's able to shove workers away from him. That seems almost like Sharon on the level of power that Phobos would have.
Yeah,
is that
seems
right?
Kind of terrifying.
Like,
he can also
for example,
shove his own worker, right? Or
yeah, it's the worker that does not move. However,
gotcha.
And so, it's certainly not as powerful as if it was the worker that moved. If it's the worker that moved, then it's totally dominant. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine, you're on C3, you knock somebody from one of the inner corners to the actual corner and you build on the other side of the board and you automatically win, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, but you playing against Phobos know what the capabilities are at the end of your turn. And so it's nicely balanced. It's definitely not one of the, I don't think it's going to be an A power, according to.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it will be a B power.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what A and B power, what they are, A powers, if you go onto Board Game Arena and look at the Santorini guide, what's it called? The
Full
Full
guide
Guide
Santorini,
Santorini, probably, which that was like a Tody Lejeune made that with a couple other folks, but basically it was Tody writing it and some of the other folks kind of helping him out with, since he's a non-native English speaker with fantastic English, don't get me wrong, but just some of the little things, as far as I'm concerned, that's all that was different. I mean, most of the actual strategizing and everything, it's a brilliant guide. Honestly, it should be out there mainstream and helping,
yeah. So
people out.
Full Guide Santorini, they Tody rates powers an A or a B or a C power, and A powers are strong, and B powers less so. And I think Phobos is a B power. That would be my prediction where it will lie. Yeah. Some of the dice powers, I'm excited to move Santorini away from only being pure strategy, although pure strategy is going to be the way that I will play 95% of my games. I enjoy that. But I also think that this was an easy way to expand the domain of possible people playing. There's people who just don't like pure strategy games. So
Sure.
I'm excited with Hesperides. That's one that's not in the family version. It's got three workers, and you roll your dice at the start of your turn, and then at the end of your turn, you must move one of your workers in the direction of the dice. Otherwise, you lose.
I think the dice powers have all been pretty interesting, and there's enough difference there to control, depending on which dice power you have, where you're building, where you're moving, what's happening to the opponent, that it definitely shakes it up quite a bit. I mean, on a competitive level, having dice in the mix is somewhat iffy, or having luck in there, like your Taiki, for example. There are certain ones that I think are limited for competitive play.
Agreed.
But overall, I mean, if you're just trying to make it have fun and a blast, having imperfect information or having a little bit of luck involved, it definitely spices it up. And there's never a time where adding a little bit of spiciness to a game is a bad thing, or replayability.
And again, that new idea of what to do with the Golden Fleece, to have it randomly move every single turn in one of the four directions. This was a Paul Saxberg idea again, just like he designed Pythia. It is the best way to randomize the game. I am ecstatic about it. It's a little bit too complex to include it in the family version, so it will be in one of the expansions, but it is absolutely outstanding. That excited me. Like it was hilarious. Like we're coming down to the final time of getting $2 million in the Kickstarter, and here I am just so excited about Paul's
moving your Golden Fleece token around.
Yeah, this is amazing, Paul. This is so good. I was way more excited about Paul's idea. The game actually.
Well, way to get more mileage out of something that already exists too. I mean, there is a genuine excitement to be had about like making better use of something that was already available, and just with some minor tweaks.
Yeah.
you know, there couldn't have been a better time for that process. I mean, if that eureka moment hadn't been hit, right? You know, if you hadn't been so, you and Paul and kind of everybody at Roxley and everybody else just kind of all focused on this game, every kind of improvement that could possibly be made, you know, would it have ever happened otherwise if this whole process hadn't transpired? Who knows?
Yeah. It's Roxley is such a great company. It's just they're so open to ideas. It's just so great.
Yeah, I'm glad the game's back in their hands too, rights wise as well. I mean, and everything that's going forward is hopefully all theirs, and you know, IP wise and everything, and just so the creativity can really kind of flow and hopefully turn into something really cool. I mean, clearly, I was just personally happy that it was their best funded Kickstarter. You know, I mean, I've never played Brass, but I just think like clearly the community had something to say about whether they wanted to see Pantheon and whether they really loved the game. Um,
Yeah, I think Ice Throne's Marvel was a little bit more.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think this is number 2 for them. But
Still awesome though.
oh, absolutely, like goodness me, I was not expecting it to be this awesome. So yeah.
Well, congratulations to all of you guys. I mean, that's super.
Yeah.
I hope that means we'll get more Gordon Hamilton games with
Yeah, like I'm
with your continued success, right?
I think I'm going to be freed up. I think I'm going to be freed up. Like the most important thing is if I can sell my house, and then that'll free up all of the finances, and that plus the Santorini should, fingers crossed, free me up to just do what I love, which is puzzle design and board game design. Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Seriously, I mean, you mentioned a long time ago that you've got a basement full of, you know, semi fleshed out ideas and things like that of all the other designs, and you know, let's hope those come to the light of day.
I'd love to. Yeah.
You need a new basement for them though when you sell your house.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's fun. Yeah.
oh,
My son graduated today from grade 12.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a big one. I mean, that's on to picking college, and is he gonna have a break year
Nope.
in between? Oh yeah, that's that's something I wish I had done. I was just kind of taking a breather between jumping right into something else. But
He really is enjoying everything. So I don't think he needs a breather. Like he's very into sports. Oh,
yeah,
he doesn't
Canadian college or
yeah, he's going to go to the East Coast to Halifax. And there's two universities in Halifax. There's Dalhousie and St. Mary's, and he's going to the smaller St. Mary's.
all right. Decided future interests, career
Psychology, business, and biology. He doesn't know
dang
where to go within that. And he's also very interested in AI. And
that's a decent mix. Psychology pretty much mandates a grad degree though, so that might, I don't know if that's kind of whatever's in the works, but my wife and I actually considered, and her in particular, like the sociology psychology thing to begin with, and we quickly realized that was something we were going to have to make a long-term plan for. But she was going to go into criminal justice. We were both liberal arts starting out, and I'm a history major, in fact, so I still love that kind of stuff. But some of that stuff you really just you need to go the appropriate distance with graduate education, and psychology is one of those.
Right. So what do you listen to podcast wise for history, or what books do you listen to that you...
Oh man, I used to particularly love and still am fascinated by kind of the discipline that they call environmental history, which is, for example, a society cuts down its forests, what happens, right? Or the Black Plague, right? Things that are of natural origin that happen during a historical period of time. What are their impacts, and how does that affect sort of the rise and fall of societies and things like that. And then there was like guns, germs, and steel for a while, and
Yes.
the collapses, like a lot of the stuff that Jared Diamond wrote.
Yes.
Those are pretty big sources of fascination. But right now, actually, most of what I'm uh, tuning into at night and stuff is just like the tanks of World War II, and just the nuts and bolts of like how mechanical things were built and for warfare and driven and things like that. But I really kind of equal opportunity. There have been times where I've sat there and listened to people talk about Greek fire, basically a recipe, a chemical recipe that has been lost to history, where people used to throw it on ships and stuff and set them on fire, where it couldn't be put out. That was Greek fire. Yeah, just anything. Always curious, always kind of learning. I just couldn't turn it into a career. I kind of so the way I drifted through things is I started out in history. I realized that kind of ended in library jobs, right? And I wanted something a little bit more out into the world, and so then I was like, archaeology, that's the thing I'm going to do. I love archaeology, and I started going outside into nature more, and it's like, oh wow, I actually love rocks and minerals and things, and all this digging in the dirt, that's kind of fascinating, so I'll go study archaeology. And so I started taking classes in that, and then finally I started staring at the plants, and my wife and her mom taught me how to garden and everything back when I was a teenager, and then it's like, oh well, we'll do that. And that's kind of where I wound up doing plants. So, but
That's
maybe your son will have some kind of whirlwind like that, where he'll just make a decision, and that's what he'll do. And that's pretty cool when that eureka moment happens for you.
how is AI affecting both of you? Or how do you imagine it will affect both of you?
There, I mean, for a while, after some things that happened recently, it kind of midlife career change potential, so to speak. I thought for a while that computer programming and AI and stuff like that might be pretty fascinating. And then I saw some stuff come out recently that said that whether this is true or not, people better knowledgeable than me, that AI could begin writing software and things of that nature better than sort of programmers, or at least at the same type of speed and productivity and stuff like that. And it's like a little disheartening. I mean, you could look at that field remarkably changing from now compared to several years from now. I don't know.
Stephen Wolfram was being interviewed by Lex Friedman within the last few weeks, and Lex was saying you were there at the start of computer science departments in university, and you're probably going to be there at the end, and that's amazing.
Oof. Yeah, no joke.
Especially for those people who have just graduated like 5 years ago.
Yeah, like fields rising and falling in our lifetime. That's a little bit rocky, when you have to derive a sustenance from your knowledge and your training. And I mean, quite frankly, things are getting so specialized that it's not easy to make a drastic change. I mean, when things have prerequisites and 3 to 5 years of experience, and people want sort of you to prove what you know how to do, and demonstrate your knowledge and your skills and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know.
Nate, what about you?
Oh, what's up?
About AI?
Do you get into AI and
Is it affecting
any type of stuff like that with what you do?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm just studying math. I mean, I did a comp sci minor in undergrad, but no, I haven't really worked with AI in any meaningful sense, or even a non-meaningful sense.
The art is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
It's again scary. Like on my book, The Infinite Pickle, I wrote on there, humans made this book, and the art is by humans, because I'm just feeling for those artists that they are in trouble as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that are graphic designers, and I mean, they have all of these types of skills. I mean, and for me personally, like, what is creativity? You know, like it kind of gets to a big central question of I mean, to be honest, when I was a teenager, my wife and I had a lot of discussions. I got into like people that made electronic music and things like that, and I started messing around with some of those programs like way back when. I've always been interested in making music, but you know, there, and I play instruments as well, guitar, keyboard. There is like when computers kind of get involved, it becomes sort of messy in terms of what, you know, the human mind and skill is doing and what the machine is, you know, skill is doing and creating and kind of driving. I mean, I don't know. I mean, computers can do all sort of things. I mean, in visual media and in a lot of different fields, it seems like it's all just kind of happened all of a sudden. And I've seen a lot of news articles about it. You know, I don't know if we'll be in the Matrix anytime soon or anything, but I would like to think that as fields are collapsing and changing, new ones will open up. That's just how technology usually works. And
I think new ones will open up for the AI.
you know, hopefully there's a next step in there somewhere. I don't know.